Chris Robinson showed enough in that team match to get things underway that he is no pushover. An interesting contest this, Alison.
It is. You've got Kaçi, who at one point was the world #1, WPA ranked #1, 2017-18. And then Chris, he actually gained that first point for the USA, which must have been a little weight lifted off his shoulder. I think he's going to be really settled in this match, personally. He's got a great attitude, very laid back. You know, he's a very mature young man. And so we'll see what happens here. It's going to be a good match. It's going to be a big point, too, for both teams.
Eklent Kaçi, only 21 years of age, already achieved a lot. And in the Mosconi Cup, in his previous 2 appearances, he's definitely been more effective playing as a loner. He's been involved in 4 singles, won 3 of them. When it comes to doubles, not so good. Involved in 1 victory from 6 attempts.
I think that's why they've put him out here in this situation, because he is a loner. I think they were mentioning that earlier, Alex Lely. Wow, just squeezed that 1 ball in there at the last. But I'm sure he's been working on his break during the interval, but during the other matches, because he struggled a little bit earlier on in the team match. So I'm sure they've all had a little team chat about how to break on this table. Nicely played shot there by Chris, very patient, because he could have actually gone for that shot, played up and down the table the way it's playing, but he obviously wants to, you know, be sensible, risk-free, and get himself relaxed and used to the table speed.
Extension, please.
You heard their extension called. It's a 30-second shot clock, but players are allowed 1 30-second extension per rack. Kaçi's taken it immediately.
That was a nice little shot there. He put a lot of left-hand spin on the cue ball just to keep it down at the end of the table there, so it was nicely played. And he's left Chris a long, tricky shot, because he's almost in the jaws of the pocket, but a little tester here.
Extension, please.
A really nice shot. That's a great shot to start with, when you're jacked up a little bit, elevated in the backhand, to punch that ball in.
Tell you what, Alison, if he were to perform well in the Cup as a whole, and he certainly made an encouraging start, it would vindicate the decision of Jeremy Jones to include him in the team. There were a lot of second guessers who were surprised that he'd been picked, and maybe that's why they were second guessing.
Yeah, no, the commentator's timing there. Yeah, he's got to be 2 really nice shots. He just jawed it. It's, you know, not many people are flowing at the moment on this table, that's for sure. I've seen everyone make mistakes, and I'm sure Kaçi can't believe he's back at the table.
Yes, lots of unforced errors, one has to say that. But I think the Mosconi Cup is all about drama and indeed about pressure-induced mistakes. So we shouldn't be surprised. It's happened before, it will definitely happen again.
Absolutely. We're all human at the end of the day. Everyone makes mistakes, that's for sure. This is what all the hours of training come down to. Mosconi Cup, team event, and all those hours they put in alone at the table. And then to see how they deal with the pressure. Nicely played past the side pocket there, that was a good shot. It allowed him to let his stroke out too, which is always nice when you want to get more into the game and relax.
As near to a sporting formality as there is. In goes the 9, and Kaçi takes advantage of Chris Robinson's error. 1-0. Really interesting story, Eklent Kaçi. Started playing the game at the age of 8.
Last year, but as the cloth over the next couple of days wears in a little bit, we'll see if that changes things. It's certainly been a little tougher to begin with here.
Now let's see the efficiency or otherwise of Kaçi's break.
Looks like it was the or otherwise. Yeah, the corner ball came up high there. So they're not making that wing ball very easily at the moment, which is something you can rely on for. You know, adjusting the speed, the power, watching the other player break. I'm sure they'll discuss that after every match.
Yeah, high regularity of dry breaks so far this evening. No doubt about that.
Looks like he's got a nice safety shot there. So I think this is going to be a jumper from Eklent Kaçi. You know, I do like that element of a game, the jump shot. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like it and prefer you to kick, but there is a skill to it. There is definitely a great skill to it when you see the best jumpers in the world. But it means your safety play has to be spot on. You have to get them as close to that object ball in front of them. That 8 ball in this case. You have to be a little bit better in your safety play.
Not his finest.
No, it seemed to run out of energy because he had to elevate so high in the back. That slowed the cue ball down, so he couldn't put the energy that he needed and didn't obviously hit the 1 ball where he wanted. So it gives Chris a nice little opportunity. Bit of high left English here. Nicely played. Giving himself a little angle to just punch in and out of the rail to get back on the 3 ball. Now you remember that road map we were talking about earlier? This could be it.
Well, the road map back home for Chris Robinson takes you to Ventura, California. And it was there, at a club called Sticks Billiards, he took up the game at the age of 14, so his rise has been meteoric.
Absolutely, he's got as much experience as he could possibly get. He's got some great players around him, sponsors, mentors, and he went to Lindenwood for the Lindenwood University for the billiard program. Mark Wilson was the teacher, the billiard instructor. So he's had some lovely opportunities too, and he's worked very hard. And I hope this sort of thing inspires all the juniors out there around the world, you know, to take up the game, because we've got such young players competing here. Anything is possible.
He is a collegiate champion at Lindenwood University in Missouri. St. Charles, Missouri. They call Missouri the show me state. Before tonight, I'm sure Jeremy Jones said to him, show me what you can do.
Perfect. It should be a nice little back and forth 2-rail shot. Got a tough little angle on the 6, but it's a natural path for the cue ball. And he doesn't want to do what Kaçi did. He's making sure his clothing is far away from that ball there. Nice shot. Lost his chalk in the pocket there.
Kaçi's jump shot wasn't effective. This has been the consequence. All tied up at 1 rack each. And the pattern of this Mosconi Cup so far in its embryonic stage is the fact there is no pattern. It is really tight.
Yes, absolutely. You can't really predict anything here, but I'm not really surprised that he's settling in. I've known Chris a while now and been around him, and his temperament is really good. So I expect a lot of great things out of him in the future for sure.
And I'll tell you what, his captain is also wonderfully supportive. Jeremy Jones, I've had the pleasure of commentating with him on several occasions now. In fact, the commentary box has been decimated by this year's captaincy, because Carl Boyes, vice-captain for Europe.
Yep.
Alex Lely, captain for Europe, and Jeremy, who's the skipper of the Americans, all of them are wonderful behind the microphone as well.
Yes, I've listened to them. They're really good, and Jeremy's a great guy. He's really articulate and a great guy to be around.
Rack number 3, we are all
So
tied
knowledgeable.
at 1-1. Team USA to break.
I think at some point you might be getting vice captains in to commentate alongside you.
Yes, well, Carl Boyes is going to be commentating with me for match number 5 this evening,
Oh,
the
nice.
nightcap.
Very nice. Oh, that was a nice break. Got it down there. Oh, it didn't take him long to learn how to adjust, so that's for sure on that break. Now there's a shot here to just go low on the ball, cut it in the corner, and come off a side rail to come back for the 3. But it's a blind pocket, so we'll see what he chooses here.
Hold the clock, please, for a second, guys.
I think there's a fly in the arena. And John handled that
Restart
nicely.
the clock, please.
December the 1st and still flies.
He's going into the other pocket, the opposite side, for a natural angle for the 2 rails. Nicely played. Nice stroke. That cue ball keeps rolling. Not quite where he wanted, but nevertheless, still got a shot. So you can see that, a little bit of left spin on the cue ball there to come out 2 rails. Always a bit tricky when you're spinning the ball like that. I still expected him to make that though.
Well, he overcut the 4 ball in the first rack. That cost him. Will overcutting the 3 cost him here?
Well, a little less friction. Well, there's no friction probably on the balls because they're very clean, not been used. And so there's a little bit less friction. And that can play a part in it. Where you'd normally aim on a table, you might be aiming it a little bit differently on here in these new conditions. I imagine with the speed of a table, he's going to crisscross side rail, and out for the next shot. That was nicely played. Nice stroke.
The moral of the story so far, you don't hand Kaçi chances like this.
Yeah, he's got to be really pleased, Kaçi. Didn't expect to get back to the table there.
2 mistakes from Chris Robinson so far. 2 mistakes exploited and 2 racks for Europe. They lead 2-1. extremely tight so far in this year's Mosconi Cup. The team event, well, that went to Team USA. From 3-0 down, they won 5-3. Gorscht and Filler then won the doubles against Jewel and Van Boning. So 1-1 overall. The first singles sees Kaçi 2-1 up on Chris Robinson.
Rack number 4, Team Europe to break, leading 2-1.
John Lehman, the referee, announces the start of the fourth rack. Can Kaçi pile on the pressure?
Well, he hasn't got the breakdown yet either, has he? Can Chris slide by that behind the 8 ball to make the one? I'm not quite sure from here. Let's look at that break again. 1 ball just before the side pocket. It looks like he can squeeze by, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, he's just elevating slightly, a little curve. Nicely played.
Just as this rack develops, I must tell you, give you some numbers to underline just how tight historically the Mosconi Cup has been. In terms of matches won, Europe have won 258 over the years, USA 255.
Really? Wow, that's a statistic I didn't know. Oh, Chris, the 2 balls he's given away, really. Gave away the last rack and had a great opportunity there.
Yeah, 3 balls missed, all of them over the cut.
Extension, please.
Kaçi's obviously got to be very happy to be back at the table. He does have a shot, he's just got to play that 2 ball in the left corner pocket. Oh no, he's going for the side pocket actually. It's a natural 2-railer for the cue ball. It's too many balls in the way going around the other way. Wow, what is going on tonight? Can't believe the balls that they've missed. See, Chris is smiling now, shaking it all off. He can't believe he's back at the table.
The amount of misjudgments, you have to say. I think they've shocked a lot of people, myself included.
I am. I think they need a nice cup of tea, Phil, to calm down a bit.
Just to pick up on what I was saying about how close things have been over the years, in terms of actual racks played in the Mosconi Cup, 2-2-9-4 have been won by Europe, 2-2-4-3 by USA. That was before the start of this evening. I think it's
Extension, please.
slightly more than that now, but you get the gist. It really is tight.
Yeah. He went a little further than planned, I believe there. Touchy table, that's for sure. That was a really nice shot. Used the 9 ball to slow the cue ball down there.
Yes, and the 5 goes past the 9 easily.
Yeah, he put a little bit of inside right-hand spin on the ball there to make sure the cue ball contacted the 9 ball full in the face. And has left him a nice shot on the 6 down the rail now. I don't see him missing from here. Slow down cue ball. You either want it to slow down or you want it to speed up, because now he's got a nice angle to float around 3 rails back onto the 9. Yeah, he wasn't going to miss that one again, was he, Phil? That side pocket.
He's done well here. He's dismissed the mistakes he's made from his mind and just got on with the job. You can't turn back the clock, but you can change the scoreboard, and that's what Chris Robinson has done. He's made 3 glaring mistakes in this match so far, but he's only lost 2 frames. He's won 2, he's on level terms, and Eklent Kaçi has been picked back again.
And it's Chris's break next, I believe.
It is. This is the key shot here. Kaçi just undercutting that 2 ball to the middle with position attached on the 3. Had the 2 gone in, I think it would have been 3-1, but it's all square.
It's a game where you've got to stay very mentally present. You cannot let past mistakes get to you. You have to be there because the opponent is going to make mistakes and you've got to be ready for it mentally.
I was chatting with Chris, first time I met him this afternoon,
number
and he
5,
seemed
we are
very
all
self-assured
tied
and
at 2-2.
aware
Team
of what was
USA
going on, and
to
I
break.
thought he would perhaps cope pretty well, but you're never quite sure until the matches actually begin.
He's made that 1 ball again in the side pocket, so he's definitely worked out the break, and he's got an open table. Could it be a roadmap again, Phil? He's actually got a nice shot on the 2 here, and everything is open. No problems at the table at all now.
Well, I suppose, given where he's from, it could be a sung by the Eagles, a Ventura Highway.
Great song.
I don't know this, and I don't think anyone does apart from him, but I would strongly assume this is the quickest table he's ever played on.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask him later. It's got to be, I'm sure. And then with the pressure of the Mosconi as well. I think he's playing himself in really nicely though here.
The trouble with a really quick table is that there's always the tendency to be a little tentative and maybe to decelerate through the shot. You need to retain authority.
Yes, you do. And I think one thing I do if it's super quick is to move my bridge hand closer, cut the stroke down a little bit, but still make sure you follow through. And keep as little movement on the cue ball as possible.
the people at Rasson who supply these tables for all of the glittering Matchroom multi-sport pool events must be very proud of themselves, because they also supply the tables for the Champion of Champions snooker, which we've just had a few weeks ago, and that table played beautifully as well.
Yeah, they look elegant as well, I think. Really solid tables. I'm sure the players love to play on these. 4 1/4 inch pockets. I actually posted that earlier just so people could see. I put 2 balls in the pocket and took a picture. It is really tight, so people know, which is probably why we've seen quite a few misses. But that's what we want to see too. We want that excitement.
Attention, please.
I'm not saying he's methodical, Chris Robinson, but he's certainly not the quickest player on either team. And so those beeps, which signify 5 seconds to go out of the allotted 30 seconds, do occasionally interrupt him.
Well, no, I think he handled that well. He called his extension, and earlier on he handled it well. I don't know if in the team event it affected him at all, but he waited a little bit, let it run down, and he seems to be handling it well from my point of view. He's very composed right now.
Certain rookies over the years at the Mosconi Cup have been like the proverbial rabbits in headlights. So far, not Chris Robinson. He was 1-0 and 2-1 down in this match. For the first time, he hits the front at 3-2, and bear in mind, he was the man who supplied the winning 9-ball in the kick-off team match we saw.
I also think that was one of the few break and runs we've seen so far. He broke that rack, made the one in the side, and then ran out from there, Phil.
I'll tell you what, all points in this tournament are vital, but it would be a massive boost for the Americans if Chris Robinson could win this against the head.
Yeah, it'll be probably an unexpected boost too. I think he's had the heat on him over the last few weeks on social media, and I texted him a while back and he seemed quite calm and ready for it, so I think he was just raring to go.
To break.
Just seeing there all of the photographs and the images we've seen from the fans who sadly can't be here. Let's hope they can be in 2021.
Absolutely, it's a massive event for the American fans, and I'm sure they'll miss it, but they're all tuned in right now. So I hope you're enjoying the event, everyone out there. Now, did you see Kaçi changed his break, then he added more speed, really got into it, and the pink ball there knocked the 1 ball in the side pocket. He's not an easy shot here. I'm not even sure what that was, Phil, because it was a side cut or a bank, and I'm not sure what he was trying there, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if he was going for that bank, hitting it hard into the rail before. No, he was going for the cut in the side, but missed it by quite a distance.
And it's an action replay of the 2 he missed in the 4th rack. A different kind of shot, but again, undercutting the ball.
Attention, please.
He was elevated that time with a bit of right-hand spin, and I think that sort of deflected the cue ball off, but nevertheless, not a shot you'd expect him to miss. There's a cue ball going, he's got a shot. No, he could just make the 3 and leave himself a cut on the 4, go back and forth. Nice shot.
He'll be trying not to get ahead of himself, but I can tell you, this Californian right now is dreaming of a famous victory.
Well, even though he's made a few mistakes, he seems, you know, like going at a nice pace. He's getting into the... Oh, that little rattle there, but that's because he was squeezing the pocket a bit to get a good angle on the 5 ball there. And now he can either roll it or go up and down the table, go hit the top rail, the other top rail, and land nicely on the 7 ball. So it's just about making this shot, really. Nicely played.
Adoption of the looped bridge.
I was just going to say that, Phil. Go on, sorry. Go and finish your thought.
No, I was just going to say it worked a treat.
It did. You know, and it's funny because you'd never see that in snooker, do you? I remember when I first went to America, I was always open hand bridge, and now I occasionally use that closed bridge. It's come out a little short, but it shouldn't pose any problem. Just want to make sure you get through the ball and hit it at a good speed down the rail there. Nicely played.
Right at the start of this match, I was suggesting that on paper, Eklent Kaçi could be regarded as something of a European banker. But, sorry about the cliche, folks, this game is not played on paper, it's played on a pool table. And right now, Chris Robinson is 4-2 ahead, within 1 rack of supplying a point that would really boost American chances and morale.
Oh, look at that, into the practice room, the other players willing him on. Showing some emotion there. Shane sure looks intense, that's certainly what I see there. Chris looks relaxed. And I'm not sure about that expression there. Disappointed at the moment, I'm sure.
Well, Eklent Kaçi has played in 2 Mosconi Cups, yet to taste victory. And of course, if you're a European who plays in Mosconi Cups, over the years I suppose you've come to expect victory. They won 8 in succession before this run of 2 defeats.
Sure.
Suddenly,
Rack number 7.
the doubts might
Current
be
score is
just
4-2
filtering in the
Team
mind a little.
USA.
Oh, for
Team
sure.
USA
I
is
think
on the hill
the American
and
team
breaking.
are gelling well. They've become more of a team the last few years, and that's thanks to good coaching, I think, and just the personalities within the team. That's a nice break again. Not got a good shot on the 2, I don't think, because it's coming in. But he's certainly got a good safety to play there. He can hide behind the... Let's see where the balls are. The 7 and 9, I believe it is. Let's see where they stop. Well, he's even got a possible bank there, I think, too. So it's a, you know... Oh, no, maybe... The safety is definitely the way I'd go here. It's a lock-up safety. Not sure if he's left a little window there. Can Kaçi see the side? No, he has locked him up. It didn't look like that from the other angle. So I think, are we going to see him jumping again? He's in a tricky predicament here. But if he catches it left side, he can play a safety shot here. I know it's tricky, but... That's what I would expect him to do. Oh, wait a minute. But has he got himself in trouble again? He fluked the ball there. I was expecting him to come off the other side of the ball, actually. The left side of the ball. But he'll take that, but I don't think he likes what's next.
Well, he's been cursed on the 2-ball in this match.
Attention, please.
One an ineffective jump shot. A couple of times he's missed it to middle. This time he flukes the 2, but is it going to gain him anything?
He's got his playing cue, which suggests he's going to try curving it a little bit, maybe. He's making that decision now, what feels right to him. And he's going for that jump again. Beautiful shot. Wow, that was a nice shot. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's nice to see a jump shot played well. There is a nice skill to that. That was really well played. Got himself out of jail there, didn't he?
When you originally transferred from snooker to pool, that must have been one of the real culture shocks, the jump shot.
Oh, I remember in 1994 going to Beijing in China, and it was an invitation event, and I was playing Joanne Mason-Parker, and I locked her up, what I thought was a good safety, and then she came out with this jump cue, and I thought, no way, what's this? You know, because that's unseen in snooker. I was not used to that at all. Oh, he's playing a nice out there from that fluke. I mean, he got a little bit lucky, but he also came with that great shot. And he probably played with a little bit of left English to glance off the 9 and let the cue ball go 2 rails here. Oh, he's going low on the ball. He has a different angle than I can see, I think. Ooh, a little danger to that, but I'm sure he's breathing a sigh of relief.
In more ways than one, Europe jump back into contention in this match. First it was the fluke jump on the 2, then the more conventional jump shot, and from there Kaçi did the business. Chris Robinson's lead reduced to 4-3. You get the feeling, Alison, this is the real engine room of this session.
For sure, this is a really big point. I'm sure Chris wants to get this one under his belt.
Jason Shaw and Carl Boyes there watching on. Carl has had some heroic moments in Mosconi Cups himself. It's a different kind of job now to be overseeing the troops.
Yes, but still a good job, that's for sure. It's nice to always be involved in this event, no doubt. Oh, Shane doing a bit of juggling, look. Go on, Shane, show us what you got. Oh. We need to practice that a little bit more, I think. Phil, what do you think?
He will be performing in Las Vegas in pool tournaments.
Not in the circus. So we see a little smile on Kaçi's face now. I'm sure he's relieved after that little run out there. And it's his break, so he's got a little advantage now. Oh, look, that's what this is. We've got in the American room and European room. European room, we've got Carl, who can definitely juggle 3 balls and could go in the circus in Vegas. And then we've got Shane in the other room, who definitely can't.
Team Europe.
In terms of juggling from men to boys.
4-3 in favor of Team USA.
Exactly. the finale. He's putting a lot behind that ball. The one ball keeps going past the side pocket. And he's definitely not close on making that wing ball, so too much on the break there, I think. Let's see. Yeah, the 6 ball went to the top rail, didn't it? That was the wing ball. He really hasn't found the break yet, has he? You know, and if it does happen to go to 4-4, you've got Chris breaking, who has definitely found the break, so let's see what happens. Was he playing that 9 ball there? I couldn't see his body was in the way. I didn't get the overhead at that point.
You can't escape the impression this rack and possibly the next could be so crucial.
Extension, please.
Yeah, he was trying to get around the back there and make that 9 ball, just tightened up a little bit, came in too short. So is he going to play off the back and move a 9, or can he get the 9? I don't think so, but we'll see. Oh, directly in. Oh, look, we have a... Oh, no, there's spin on that ball. It's going to hide it. So he went from possibly having a 2-9 combo to not having a direct shot. See that spin on that ball? Just pushed it over and blocked him from a shot on the 2. Is he going rail first to try and make the 9 now? Look. He's got left spin on the ball. Try and get the back of the 2 and then move on to the 9. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot.
Creative, and now he is back on level terms, and for the first time it is hill-hill. The first 2 matches 5-3, 5-2. In this one we are going to the wire. Imagination from Eklent Kaçi.
Look at that reaction in the practice room, Team Europe practice room.
One has to say though, because as you pointed out, Alison, Chris Robinson breaking off, he still has the advantage.
Yes, and he's definitely done a nice last couple of breaks. So, but this is the pressure break, right? The final game. Pressure's on. Let's see if he can produce what he's been producing.
Will those arms be aloft at the end of this rack? He's got a very expressionless face
Rack
out there, but
9.
inside
Current score
he's
is
churning, no
all tied.
doubt.
Hill,
Absolutely.
4-4.
He wants to
Team
get back to
USA
that table
break.
for sure.
As for Chris Robinson, he wants to do what he did in rack 5. Break and run. That would be delightful.
That would be the perfect end, wouldn't it? Nicely hit there. That wing ball, look at that. Well, he's given himself the opportunity now. Very nicely struck. Good swing at the ball. The wing ball went, and he's given himself a shot on the 1 ball there.
In Q Sports, when it comes down to a deciding frame or a deciding rack shootout, all players say, all I want is 1 chance. Well, it's here.
That was a nice shot. And now he's created that chance. Just let the stroke out, giving himself a good angle. And now it's just about holding your nerve.
Attention, please.
Oh, he did right there. He wasn't quite settled into the shot. You know, this is a rolling shot. And he wants to make sure he makes a good, clear decision in his mind. He's hitting the ball with nice authority too. Well, it's sort of in between here. You could put loads of low left spin on and let it slide up the rail, or pop it over the other side. And I think it's low left, sliding it up to the end of the table. Maybe not on that shot. It's kind of an in-betweener. It's a choice. Oh, he really got hold of that. But he's still got a nice angle just to float into that rail and out for the 7 in the corner pocket.
Over the years, really good players have melted in the cauldron that is the Mosconi Cup. Chris Robinson looks as though he's thriving.
I'm really proud of Chris because he had a lot to prove coming out here, and he's handling that pressure. A little bit shaky at the beginning. Oh, he's overcooked that a little bit. He made that a lot tougher than it needed to be, but we'll see. He's got to be a little bit disappointed with that. That's adrenaline, I'm sure. Kaçi's looking on. So he might still have a chance to be back at the table. You never know.
No option about taking his extension. He's already employed it.
Yeah. Wow. Oops. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, he just took the bank. He took a shot and he's unfortunately left himself another bank. This is all in. All on red. All on black. All on yellow and black. But you've got to go for this. Wow. Oh, that's the worst thing that could have happened to him there.
He was so close to victory.
Attention, please.
So close to partially vindicating his selection. But the 9-ball remains on the table. Kaçi breathes a huge sigh of relief. What an immense moment that could be in the 2020 Party Poker Mosconi Cup. The Europeans at the front overall at 2 wins to 1. It could so easily have been the other way around. What an immense